this is interesting to me. We talked about Mysonne in many different respects over the last almost 2 years now on the podcast, right? So this was interesting to a lot of people. So we have the new mayor that's taken over for New York, right? I think he's on his way to being sworn in. Hires rapper turned activist Mysonne for NYC mayoral team transition. Now, the controversy of this, one, you see it in the newspapers, you see it in the articles, you see it on all these posts online. The controversy of this is Mysonne's background of him once upon a time being arrested for is it assault? It's like robbery of like cab drivers or something like that, right? That's one. So if you're into politics and you're like mayors and governors and presidents supposed to be so clean, everybody around them is supposed to have a clean record, then maybe you feel a way about Mysonne being put on this supposed team that we're going to break down a little bit more too, right? And then the other piece of controversy, I've seen some mixed reviews and mixed reactions, is the people that say, yo, Mysonne, we still look at you as the general from New York. You're a rapper, you got a certain reputation. Many times you've spoken out about snitching. What are you doing working with any political figures or, peep the air quotes, people, authorities? I'm going to actually trample on that in a second, but authorities. So I did that. Okay. Stay with me. All right. Let's look at a little bit more context. New York mayor elect has hired, I hate mispronouncing his name, so I ain't even going to butcher it right now, has hired rapper turned activist Mysonne to serve as part of his transition team's criminal legal system committee. Mysonne, who previously served 7 years in prison on armed robbery charges and several others from a social justice advocacy nonprofit Until Freedom, were announced as part of the mayor's transition team last month. We are proud that Until Freedom leaders have been chosen to serve on the mayor-elect's transition team on committee for public safety and criminal justice, respectively. All right. All right. Let's go first to the side of the people that's just like, yo, hold on, man. Mysonne, you supposed to be a gangster forever. And some of that even stems to what people mentioned to me as far as like, yo, y'all sure we supposed to be cool with this? I'm going to break it all down. You got stuff like this, all right? Anybody remember? Anybody know where I'm going? Let me play it. This was T.I., I think, after he got arrested for his machine guns, rocket launches, grenade launches, and silences and all that type of stuff, right? And this was one of his like 1-800-TIP commercials or campaigns that they had him do after.
Hey, what's happening, y'all? Some people call me Tip, but this is about another kind of tip that can help our mothers, our sisters, our brothers, and our fathers help get the perpetrators who commit crimes against them off the streets. All you got to do is call Crime Stoppers Atlanta. Tips can be anonymous, and there's even a reward. The number to Crime Stoppers Atlanta is 404-577-8477. That's 404-577-TIPS. Channel 2, community coverage you can count.
Okay. So you guys want a quick subtopic? Was T.I. snitching here? You want me to go there real quick? All right, briefly. Why not? Let's cover it. The answer is no. He's not snitching for this. Okay. All the snitching talk that T.I. has argued against over the years, I'm 99.9% sure it pretty much came from the fact that he may have already been a convicted felon. I mean, it's Mr. Rubber Band Man, right? He may have already had a past, but even if he didn't, it's because of the stuff he got caught with, right? He got caught with a lot of stuff that people feel have certain mandatories and whatnot. If Whack 100 was on the scene back then, he would have been going crazy about this every day. No, the mandatories for silencers and for fully automatic weapons and all the type of stuff that he was caught with. But everybody remembers, he didn't get served too much time. His lawyers or whatever, they worked out something sweet for the man. But this is the aftermath of it, and we've seen things like this before. You get these sometimes plea agreements, right? And the judge hands down all different types of orders that could be attached to that. Look at Young Thug, that he just performed in like the front stairs of like the DA's office or something like that. Why? Because he wanted to? No. When he's popping up at all these schools doing motivational speeches, would he be doing that on his normal schedule? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? Like when you see this type of stuff, it'd be part of like the actual legal process. It'd be part of your fulfillments and your plea agreements and shit. And this is one of the things I'm pretty sure happened to T.I. You know, a part of everything that was going on. And even if it wasn't handed down to him legally, then it still probably comes from strong advisor around him of cleaning up his image, right? Because he was a big artist. He was at his maybe rap heights around this time, right? Still at the front of the game, the hip hop game. So this is just one of those things, you know, it's not ratting, you know, if you do a commercial saying, if you see anything related to crime, call 1-800 Crime Stoppers, right? It'd be different if he called Crime Stoppers and said, look, I know some shit that's going on. No, so this ain't ratting. It just looks bad because you are Mr. Rubber Band Man, you's a whole trapper, you's a whole gangster rapper, and you allowed yourself to be put in a situation like this. Mysonne spoke against this. Mysonne was probably one of the stature of T.I. at this time was really one of them niggas in the rap world. Mysonne was probably the only person that publicly was really willing to stand out and say that publicly, like, yo, so y'all cool with this? We okay with T.I. letting the people use him like this? I guess from Mysonne's standpoint and certain people, they look at it like no matter what, you always have an option as a man. You have the option to say, I'm not doing this, and then take the repercussions of it. If the judge says, well, then I got to tag on another year for you or what, it's whatever, who knows? I don't know what the outcome would have been, but you have a decision. You have a decision. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to say no. You have the right to say go fuck yourself. You have the right to not say shit when this camera comes on. You have the right to, when the live stream starts, as Kanye West says, George Bush hates black people. You do what you want, right? You do what you want. So Mysonne spoke out about this. All right. And this is all tying into the whole, if you speak up for street code, what are you doing within certain lanes of authority or politics or around mayors or police departments or whatever? That's the narrative that I've seen, hence some of that side of the controversy. Okay. Now let's go to what Mysonne has been up to. And this isn't nothing recent. Mysonne has been feet on land as an activist for a long time now, for a very, very long time now.
I feel like the culture where it is now, the mindset, what I represent, where I come from, isn't really represented inside, you know, these organizations. And it's not a bad thing. It's just that I feel like it was time for something new. You know,
right?
So,
and you bring something unique and new to the table.
Yeah, so
right. So it's not so much either or; it's in addition to.
Exactly, and that's what you do. We supposed to stand on the shoulders of our elders. We take what they've given us, and we take it to the next level. We can't just stay there in that same place. So you know, that's what we wanted to do with Until Freedom, and so that
he's speaking of Until Freedom, and this video right here is 3 years old. Obviously, way before this new mayor elect gets rolling with people that he selects, that he believes possibly has influence or impact within the community. This is 3 years ago. Okay. I got another one. This is another joint that we see Mysonne doing. Feet on Land, once again, to me, this is 5 years ago.
And let me just start by saying that we all know how important the Black vote is in 2020 and for the election. And we all know that a drop in the turnout in 2016 among Black voters in swing states like Pennsylvania helped Trump win the White House. And we know if we want to protect our communities from the pandemic of COVID-19, which has disproportionately killed and affected Black and brown people, along with the pandemic of racism, which continues to manifest as police violence against Black folks, racial injustice, and economic inequality, then we must vote on November 3rd if we haven't voted already. But that is just one step in the journey to Black empowerment. Not only must we show up to the polls and kick 2020 in the ballots, but we need a strategy to remain organized, mobilized, and civically engaged in order to achieve true liberation. So to help us with this conversation, we have Mysonne, the General Lennon, who is an independent hip hop artist, criminal justice reform activist from the Bronx, organizer, and co-founder of Until Freedom, which is an intersectional social justice organization fighting for systemic change and racial justice. What's up, bro?
What's going on, Selena? How you doing today, Queen?
I'm good. I'm good. We're super happy to have you. We know you are a very busy man. You are literally on a tour right now called State of the Emergency to Vote. You were in Louisville, so we know there's a lot of work to be done. But my son, I want to start this conversation by actually throwing it back to the time you were spending in Louisville.
Got you. That's the type of engagements. That's the type of promotion. That's the type of stuff that Mysonne has been driving years ago. Notice that it's also about criminal injustice. Okay, stay with that. I got one more for y'all. When we talk about feet on land and being on the front lines, it's like Oops. Remember Oops? You know, was joining marches. And he's a whole battle rapper talking gangster shit, whatever. But as he got into politics and as he got into trying to be a part of certain reforms, he was out there getting arrested, getting pepper sprayed and everything. Feet on land. Feet on land. This is Mysonne at a rally, I believe. What was this for? MLK. Feet on land, and he takes his charge, takes his arrest. I'm just saying. In closing, let's make sure that we understand the context before we give any negativity in Mysonne's direction when it comes to standing behind the upcoming New York mayor. So peep this. Until Freedom, which we've been hearing about, he's been pumping in the videos that we played for at least the last 5 years. A New York City-based social justice group announced in late November that Lennon would lead the group. That's Mysonne. We are proud that the Until Freedom leaders have been chosen to serve on Mayor-elect's transition team on committees for public safety and criminal justice, respectively. The post read on Instagram. Until Freedom describes itself as a nonprofit dedicated to the community, activism, education, and rapid response to tragedies resulting from injustice. That has been a heavy mantra of Mysonne for quite some time. I respect it. So before we start talking about him speaking out on T.I. 20 years ago, before we start talking about him starting out as a gangster rapper from the streets, before we start talking about him having robbery charges from over 20 years or over 15 years ago, the man has continued to evolve, and this ain't new to him. This ain't no opportunity to maybe collect some hedge funds or some, like, you know what I'm saying, some donation money, whatever. This man has been on the front line doing this shit for a very, very long time. And he is one of those guys from New York that deserves his respect. I've always respected him. I've always respected his voice. I've always respected the way he carries himself. No man is perfect. He's had little things in the past as well, you know, that maybe pop up here and there, little debates. I remember his debate with Royce over Vlad and all types of stuff going on. But Mysonne, to me, is a solid guy, a solid man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that somebody like him, you know, is within this type of circle to help push some of these inequalities and injustices. All he got to do is stay solid to the shit we've been seeing him march for, stand for, get arrested for, interview for, preach for, promote. All he got to do is continue to stand on that, and he's good money with us. Thank you, Mysonne. So we're going to put that down. Let's stop any negativity around that shit. And I see you fucking newspapers and shit. The big bowl, the mayor-elect selects ex-con or ex-convict that was arrested for robbery as his freedom fighter. Fuck y'all. Newspaper shit. Newspaper article headings. See what y'all doing. And they can't wait to use the word rapper. Hires rapper. Like the media always use the word rapper so negatively, right? Rapper. Fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. He's one of us. We protect it. We protect him.